Hello guys, and welcome to a new Steel Division video today by me, Vulcan. Today I have for you game 2 in a best of 3 between Dremora and TheMagicMan73, and this is round 1 of Chickendew's European tournament. Today we're going to be seeing Cheux as our map, and the Magic Man on the allied side with the 3rd Armoured, and on the Axis side we have Dremora with the 9th Panzer. So previously we saw Dremora on the allied side with the 3rd Canadian, and I feel like he sort of failed to capitalize on his phase A advantage that he really found for himself by getting some really nice engagements. We'll have to see if that's the case in this game, as he is playing the 9th Panzer, and that means that he is going to want to be relatively aggressive in the early game with his Panzer 1C, Panzer 2 Lux, Befehl Panzer 2 combo, maybe even the Marder 3s. On the bottom side. And then on the side of the Magic Man, well, he does actually have pretty good counters to those units. So maybe this will fall actually in favour of Magic Man in phase A, because especially if he invests in a couple of the M4A1s. Those M4A1s can be very good for dealing with the 20mm autocannon units. They don't really fare so well against Marders, but if you sort of put one of those M4A1s into the top side push into this town, that could definitely help gain an advantage up there versus the half tracks and 20mm autocannon units that Dremora is going to use. There's also the use of a Flam Panzer early on from Dremora with his 9th Panzer, so that's going to be something that might catch the Magic Man off guard. We've seen the Flam Panzer do a lot of work previously, especially in the hands of Gonzo. So it'd be interesting to see if Dremora can sort of replicate that with a push into this top side town. In the bottom side, Dremora is going to be investing in a Marder 3, so I wouldn't expect necessarily Magic Man to bring in any tanks to the bottom side early on. It's more likely that we'll see the investment into AT guns, so things like the 6-pounders or like the M1 guns. They're probably going to be more likely brought to the bottom side than tanks themselves. But off we go, let's see what has been deployed. Magic Man in the top side is going to be going for the Jeep 30 cal with some recon there. He's got 2 units of armoured rifles with the Command in the M3A1 half track, which has a 50 cal, which is quite nice. He's brought in an M5A1 Stuart, and honestly that's a pretty nice choice actually to accompany the infantry into the town. Definitely gives him something to kill the Panzer 2 Lux and also the Flam Panzer here, so that's good. In the mid, Magic Man's going to be bringing in some more recon there. Looks like some scouts. He's got a M1 gun. He's got the M3 half track there with some armoured rifles. And on the bottom side, same composition. Armoured rifles, AT, gun, recon. Nice. For Dremora on the bottom side, it's going to be 1 unit of infantry. Rather light on the bottom side for sure. Panzergrenführer accompanying a Marder 3 in the centre of the map. On the top side in this town, it's going to be a couple units of Panzergrens, but one goes down very early on to the armoured rifles there, gets killed before they're even unloaded. That is a big mistake there from Dremora. Dremora is going to be coming up with some Sturmpioneers though to help out the engagement against the armoured rifles, and the Sturmpioneers should win out there quite easily. Going to find the surrender? No, they're not, because the armoured rifle is just in range. Speed troop there on the top side get pinned down. These Sturmpioneers are going to be a bit of a problem just in general against all of this infantry. Can the half-track stop that from being a problem? I don't know. This Flam Panzer though is not getting very aggressive. I feel like if that moved down to the bottom side of the town here, came up this road, you'd probably find yourself a lot of surrenders, that's for sure. Panzer 2 Lux is now advancing as well. That's going to be trying to find a close range engagement onto the M5A1 Stuart. Interesting stuff so far. Honestly, this town engagement's been a lot slower than I originally expected. The loss of those Panzergrens early on did kind of nullify the push that Dremora had through the buildings with his infantry. The Panzer 2 looks definitely looking for the engagement there with the Stuart, but not finding it. Sturmpioneer is going to do some serious damage to the armoured rifles. Are going to start to fall back, but honestly unloaded on the wrong side of the building. Now going to have nowhere to go. Going to get absolutely demolished by the 2-star M3A1 half-track. On this bottom side, Panzergrens did take up position. We see a Panzer 2 Lux coming in down here. Not entirely convinced about that choice. I think another Marder 3 would have been a better choice for the bottom side of the map. But now we see 2 more units of Panzergrenz coming into the top side to help out here. Panzer II Lux does manage to kill off one of the units of armoured rifles. Now we see the engagement between the Stuart and the Panzer II Lux. Weapons jammed onto the Panzer II Lux, and that is out of commission. That means that the Magic Man can be extremely aggressive towards that. Ah, that's a shame. I was really hoping that he would charge down that Panzer II Lux. It would have been a really good time to do so. Does of course have to be careful about the Panzerfaust in the hands of the Panzergrenadier, but in general this is a good opportunity to take out the Panzer II Lux, but Dremora is just going to get that out of there until he can repair it. So this Fan Panzer I don't think has even fired yet. It's used some of its machine gun ammunition but hasn't used any of its flame ammunition. And now there is an M4A1 coming into the town, and this is what I like to see. The 2 30 cals, 150 cal, 5 HE on its main gun. These M4A1s can demolish infantry and half tracks and 20mm autocannon units the same, and it's just a really strong unit to have in the town at this point, especially with the Marder 3 being on the bottom side. Transmission damage has hit this Panzer II Lux. I'm assuming that's the M1 gun engaging that. Recon squad is not in the bush there. Okay, they are being moved forwards. It looks like Magic Man briefly forgot about them. But either way, we have a mortar coming in onto the top side. But that's not going to really be enough to stop a push coming out of armoured rifles, the M5A1 and the M4A1. Like, if Magic Man can get his half-tracks into good supporting positions to assault enemy infantry, he could definitely make a very strong push right now with the composition of forces that he has. So the armoured rifle is going to be moving up there, revealing some Panzergrenführer. 50 cal is going to be able to open up. We see the M5A1 also moving up here. Flampanzer is going to be coming around the corner. That's going to be trying to flame the armoured rifles. Does do a little bit of damage there, but the armoured rifles are not going to be pinned down. The M5A1's moving down to the bottom side of the town. I'm not sure why the M4A1 isn't following up. That should be definitely moving down the main road maybe or something. But either way, we see this M5A1 coming out wide. Needs to keep distance onto the Panzer Grenadiers here, otherwise he will find a Panzerfaust in his rear. Armoured rifle is going to be continuing to push up. M5A1 has found the Flampanzer there. Shooter wounded. And that's going to be that forced to fall back. Now he's going to be engaging the Panzergrenz here. And with the 330 cals on target, you can see how quickly he's going to pin down those Panzergrenz. Panzergrenz can't use their MG42s. They have a lack of HE at that range. And that's going to cause the Panzergrenz to be pinned down. Armoured rifles win that engagement. M4A1's being very aggressive down the main road now. That's what we like to see. They're likely going to come into line of sight of the Panzergrenz as well, but we do have smoke coming down from the 251-2. Panzer II Lux is on its way back. Not entirely sure why. Looks like he's going to place that on the top side to try and gain some presence there with a useless kind of unit right now. M4A1 now going to be engaging the Panzergrenführer with the Panzergrenführer dead. That means that surrenders are very likely at this point. Just any units that get spotted right now are going to get just annihilated by the M4A1 and the half-tracks here. We do see the Panzergrenz trying to jump forwards into these buildings and find the Panzerschreck shots. And honestly, we might see one occur shortly. But with the Panzergrenz revealing themselves, Magic Man surely knows that they're right in his face. Going to be getting out of there with the M4A1. Pins down the Panzergrenz almost immediately. They don't manage to get off a Panzerfaust shot anyway. And that is an engagement in favour of the Magic Man. Magic Man is now at +1. And is holding on to this bottom side well. Like, honestly, I'm not entirely sure why Panzer II Lux are being invested in the bottom side. They don't really deal with M1 guns very well. They only have 800 meter range, so AT guns just annihilate them. Marder 3s are really the way to go, and you can fire position with them. You can also use this mortar, for example. And I feel like now that Dremora has lost this town, he shouldn't really contest it anymore. Like, the use of the M4A1 and the M5A1 to push into this town has just been textbook with the 3rd Armoured, and it's worked out very, very well indeed against the 9th Panzer. We see the P-38 Lightning coming in with the rocket strike onto the Marder 3 there. We also see the Panzer II Lux get forced to fall back. These two Lightnings really kind of saving the day there. The M1 gun was definitely under pressure from the Panzer II Lux. It looks like Dremora just kind of went for a rush strategy to try and get rid of it. That M1 gun though, going to be pinned down by the Marder 3. Probably wants to put it onto return fire now. Just make sure that it doesn't get spotted unnecessarily, but the Spear Troop will spot it inevitably in the end. On the top side, the mortar's still trying to find shots. There is an AT gun now arriving to deal with half-tracks and armor. But we now see this M4A1 move a little bit upwards. I was hoping that was going to head towards the top of the map to try and clean things out up there, but doesn't really matter for now. Panzergren's going to get pinned down in the open. Or Panzergren's going to pin down the armoured rifles in the open. Armoured rifles going to be continuing the push. These M5A1 is still being very aggressive here. Going to be finding the 251 with the M3 half-track. That's an engagement that could fall either way, honestly. This Pak-38. Is it in 600 meter range? It is. Okay, so if that Pak-38 fires and misses the M5A1, it could get showered by 30 cal ammunition. There's also the M3A1 half-track that can engage there with the 50 cal. So we're actually going to see that Pak-38 be pinned down nice and quick, which is really, really good sort of reactions there from the Magic Man to make that happen. M4A1 is going to kill off that Panzer Grenadier, save the armoured rifles from being hammered by the MG. Meanwhile, in the bottom side, we did see the M1 gun eventually go down after being spotted by the Spear Troop. But the M1 gun here, that's still able to fire away. This recon might unwittingly be found. Seems as though Dremora has just bumped into that squad and is going to kill them off. Poor chaps. That recon is generally in a good position down there, but Dremora finding that by accident. We see the half-track dying as it does continue to press forward. Spear Troop have not been found yet. Pak-38 moving back into the tree line to see if it can find a shot onto a half-track. Now, one thing that I would like to see is a mortar carrier out of the side of the Magic Man. They do get the M21 mortar carriers, and honestly, they're pretty damn useful. So that would be very, very good for taking out this Pak-38 for sure. That Pak-38 now can engage the M3 half-track. We have the M3A1 there, though, on target with the 30 cal, and again, more damage just coming down onto the Pak-38. Not too much that Dremora can do about that. Armoured rifles and M3 half-track engage the Panzer Grenadiers in the top side tree line, on top of all of these Panzer II Lux and so on. But it looks like at the moment, Dremora is making quite a lot of ground, but we've just moved into Phase B, and Magic Man has purchased himself an M4A 376mm. I really like this response. It looks like he's saved so that he could do this like in the first tick of Phase B. And this M4A3 is really good for just annihilating these Panzer IIs. It also fares quite well against the Marder, so there's that as well. M4A1 trying to get in line of sight of these Panzergrens before they sort of house hop forwards and kill him with a Panzerfaust. I'm surprised that the Magic Man hasn't made more ground up here, but honestly, I can tell why he hasn't pushed, and it's mainly because of this Pak-38, and also the mortar fire from this 251-2 has prevented his infantry from making too much ground. M4A 376 does manage to kill off the Befehl Panzer II, and now it looks like Dremora is just going to try and get his Panzer II Lux into cover so that he can prevent this M4A3 from pushing forwards without risking a side shot. Because now what you want to do is have this Marder 3 get to the point where it's in like the 1,200 meter range. I think it's just about right. So that when this M4A3 pushes around to like engage the Panzer II, the Marder 3 can engage the M4A3 from max range. That Marder 3 is in exactly the perfect position right there to make that happen, which means that this Panzer II Lux is pretty much safe. Ideally, you'd have it so the Marder 3 covered both of these entrances, like one here and one here. So you put it like here, for example. But that's a little bit risky because the armoured rifles and M3 half-track combo here. And it's not covered very well by the Panzergren, so you don't want the Marder 3 too close to this tree line. And you can see that Magic Man is going to try and take advantage of that move that way instead. M4A1 and armoured rifles still going at it. Honestly, the Panzergrens are going to take a lot of damage at close range there. Instant surrender. Did manage to get a Panzerfaust into the face of the M4A1, but only got the track's wheel damage. Panzer 4H now taking the place of the Pak-38 after the Pak-38 did go down. We do see more rocket strikes coming in from the P-38s on the bottom side. The M4A3 just going to be trying to pick off that Panzer 1C, stop that from killing the armoured rifles there. Finds the crew wounded. Going to continue the shots, and I would not be surprised to see another M4A3 join this one on the bottom side soon enough. But looks like MagicMan's instead invested in a jumbo on the top side for now. And that jumbo can definitely deal with this Panzer IV quite nicely and allow him to push through Dremora. Dremora, I think, only has Marder 3s and Panzer 4s at this point. So this jumbo is actually going to be extremely hard for Dremora to deal with on the top side. M4A3 comes through, kills off the Panzer II Lux. He's also killed off the Panzer 1C. Now this Lux is going to be trying to get behind this tree line. Might end up getting itself shot unless the M4A3 has to reload. Looks like it will have to. Yeah, looks like it changed its targeting briefly, but it doesn't matter. It's going to continue to engage these Panzergrens. Panzergrens get pinned down. That's not too bad. This M3 half-track is currently killing these Sturm Pioneers. M4A1 in the top side is currently engaging some Pioneers approaching the town, but looks like this Befehl Panzer is going to try and get involved. Armoured Leader is being moved to give that M4A1 a 2-star veterancy, but it doesn't matter. The M4A1 first shot kills the Panzer 4. What an amazing shot there from the M4A1. That was rather lucky. I mean, that 600 meter range engagement, those M4A1s can get pretty accurate now that they have the 5 accuracy, but still, that was a very nice shot indeed. The one-shot kill, that must be devastating for Dremora right now. He had nothing to deal with this jumbo. That jumbo can just be incredibly aggressive on the top side now. There is a Pak-40 by the looks of things rolling into the tree lines around the bottom side of the town. That could definitely catch out the jumbo, but we do see a Lightning spotting that. MagicMan really seems to be on point with his 3rd armor today. He's definitely doing exceptionally well. We see the M4A3 here still, well, now being joined by a 2nd M4A3, so I was right about that. And we're going to be seeing those now move on to the Marder 3, Panzer 4J, Panzer II Lux, and hopefully win those engagements, because both of these together, there's not really many tanks that can take them on and win at this point, not on the side of Dremora anyway. These Panzer 4Js just really aren't good enough. They're not Panzer 4Hs, which have the faster aim time, so M4A3s even have that on them. Like, the Panzer 4Js at the 1000 meter range, like, there's a lot of problems with these M4A3s for Dremora. Like, the first is obviously 1200 meter range. The second part is at the same range, at the 1000 meter range, the M4A3s have 15 AP versus the Panzer IV's 14 AP. These M4A3s also aim faster than Panzer 4Js, and I'm pretty sure they're maybe more accurate. No, not quite. But yeah, same veterancy, but just in general, those 3 points there make that engagement with the Panzer IV incredibly hard for Dremora. We have the jumbo now rolling forwards on the top side with the M5A1 Stuart. Engineers have been brought in now from the MagicMan to sort of reinforce the town, which is actually a really nice move. It's a good counter to the Pioneers that Dremora is going to be using. Oh no, these Pioneers, they took the wrong step forwards, tell you that much. ME109 G2 BR21 going to be coming in with the 225 HE power rockets onto the Stuart. That Stuart's going to be hiding behind that tree line, but the jumbo does not have to really care. He can continue all he likes. We also see a Calliope coming in on the top side. I guess that's one way to deal with this Pak-40. But I'd like to see some more aggression up here from the Magic Man. If he knows the 9th Panzer, he should know that the only thing that the 9th Panzer has right now is Marder 3s and Pack 40s. And both of those still struggle to kill our Jumbo at max range. So this Jumbo can quite simply walk into the fire here of this Marder 3 and not really care too much. Marder 3 is going to come around the corner there and start engaging. Ideally that Marder wants to actually engage something like the Stuart or even the M4A1, because you can see the Jumbo just doesn't care. It can quite simply just drive up into the face of it. We do see Panzer IV-J coming on the flank. That could be one way to kill this Jumbo, but the Jumbo's going to one-shot the Panzer IV-J, and the P-38 Lightning comes in with the rocket strike onto the Marder 3. Really, really nice from the Magic Man. Having the P-38 already coming in, that's a good play onto the Marder 3. It allows the Jumbo to engage the Panzer IV without having to worry about the flank. That is a good play in general. But it was very nice that the Jumbo managed to one-shot the Panzer IV-J. Yes, that's luck, but the fact that he already had the P-38 coming in to deal with the Marder 3 anyway would have meant that the Jumbo dealt with the Panzer IV in the end. So, just a really nice play there from the Magic Man. Forcing things to be in his favour, and that's what we like to see. I think a lot of people look at Steel Division, they go, oh, a lot of this is luck. But you've got to look at the plays like that, and I think that's a good demonstration of how you force the luck to be in your favour. Because even if you don't one-shot there, the Jumbo can continue to engage that Panzer IV and win if the Marder 3 is pinned down. Marder 3 though is going to be now engaging the M4A1, and those are the squishy targets that the Marder 3 can kill, so that's exactly what I like to see. Unfortunately not quite getting the kill there, but the M4A1 is out of action. It's got the internal fragments, there's no more ammunition left there. M5A1 is just camping out on this top side. Panzergren's going to be trying to run that down. P-38 Lightning going to be coming in for the rocket strike again onto the Marder 3. This time at ME-109 is going to be getting onto the tail of the P-38 Lightning. A little bit of a mistake not having evac Winchester off, because you can see after it uses rocket strike it instantly evac, and that got it shot down by the ME-109 GTBR-21, which was a good reaction there from Dremora, honestly. We see the armoured rifles. They're actually going to get a Zuka shot onto this Panzer II Lux. Mustang's going to now be engaging the Focke-Wulf 190. We have an air engagement on our hands, boys. Panzergren's going to be taking out that Stuart. They were unseen moving forwards, and that's going to win them back some territory there. Scouts have been spotted by the Pioneers. They're going to now get wrecked by the Panzer IV-J and the Marder 3, and it looks like the Mustang might go down. Maybe not. ME-109 GTBR-21. Almost ran out of cannon ammunition there. Didn't really have the firepower to take down the Mustang in time. So, armoured rifles here. They have been pinned down. Armoured leader needs to jump forwards a building to stop that from surrendering. We do see an M5 gun unloading in the town. But yeah, Dremora I think's found the surrender there. He has indeed. On this bottom side, M4A3s have managed to break through. They killed off the Marder 3. Now they're going to be engaging with this Panzer IV-J shortly. Looks like they've managed to take out the 251 there. Now going to just continue the attack, move forwards. Let's see if this M4A3 can get the shot onto the Panzer IV-J. Look how quickly they aim. Oh, it's so nice. These M4A3 76mm are one of my favourite units in the game. I just love how fast they aim and how much like potency they have at close range. Managed to find the kill there onto the Panzer IV-J when it's forced to fall back. That's just so damn nice. Really, really good engagement. Opens up the bottom side of the map. This Panzer II Lux is just going to have to hide and hope that it doesn't get spotted. Because if it does get spotted, the turret of this M4A3 is going to turn very quickly and snapshot it. We see the Calliope here. Going to be engaging the Panzer IV-J. It looks like the Jumbo went down. I'm rather confused right now. Looks pushed pretty hard. Where is that Jumbo? I can't see where it died. It must have got side shot or something. What I'm thinking happened is this Panzer II Lux came up. Jumbo turned towards it. then the Marder 3 and Panzer 4J engaged, and it died. So that happened. Either way, Magic Man's still making ground on the bottom side. Panzer 2 Lux has been spotted by the M3 half-track there. Ooh, that is a tiger. That is a tiger. We've now moved into phase C, and a 2-star tiger is definitely evidence of that. P-38 Lightning going to be coming in with the 2 25 HE power bombs. These M4A3s better start fast moving towards that Tiger E straight away. Otherwise, that's a wasted bombing strike in my opinion. Especially if he's going to evac Winchester, which he is, straight into the Focke-Wulf 190. Come on, M4A3s. Get up there. Oh, second Mustang. We've got the P-38 helping out with the Mustang here with the engagement onto the Focke-Wulf. Second Focke-Wulf coming out. ME-109, G2, BR-21 going to be coming in. Can this P-38 get on the back of the Focke-Wulf? That would be the ideal thing to happen. He can. Okay, good. This Mustang now on the back of this Focke-Wulf. Looks like the Lightning will shoot down the Focke-Wulf 190. 2 Focke-Wulf 190s going down. ME-109 GT BR-21's left sitting duck. And we'd like to see both the Mustangs win out there. M4A3s still trying to engage the Tiger here, but it looks like the Tiger's managed to retreat in time. And, well, with all of those aircraft going down, that is a huge win for the Magic Man. Taking down both the Focke-Wulf 190s is pretty damn important. That's likely the only fighters that the 9th Panzer has. And yeah, Dremora sees it too. He's in a very bad position moving forwards in this game. And after 24 minutes and 24 seconds, Dremora is going to surrender. And the Magic Man brings it back to 1-1 in this best of 3 series. That's what I like to see. I like to see it when it comes all down to all 3 games. Especially when we've had a game like in the sort of... I think it was just disappointing in the first game that Dremora didn't win so much more convincingly and therefore like allowed Magic Man to come back. And now Magic Man, after that frustrating sort of first game where he couldn't come back in time, managed to win so convincingly in the second game. That must be like a real confidence boost for him. So I reckon we're going to see a real cracker of a game in the third game where Dremora's trying to hold on, trying to like win the third game for himself whilst the Magic Man sort of presses on and tries to win the series as well. But 2,125 kills to 1,120 losses there for the Magic Man, and Dremora, of course, vice versa. So a convincing victory with a convincing KD. M5A1 in the early game, really nice accompaniment of his infantry in that town, did really well. The other thing was the investment in the M4A1 that I suggested at the very start. He brought that in a little bit later on, still worked out really well. Got that one shot onto the Befehl Panzer IV, that was really, really nice. Then we saw the M4A376 in the bottom side. Look how much stuff this killed. It is beautiful. These M4A376 mils, especially against the right divisions, can do so much work. And it killed the Marder 3, it killed the Panzer IIs, it killed the Panzer IV. And it looks like the other M4A376 only killed a Panzergren. We saw the Jumbo kill the Panzer IV-J with the one shot. That was really nice as well. Mustang engagement at the end was just perfect. In terms of losses, let's see what actually killed the Jumbo. It was indeed the Marder 3. I reckon that was probably a side shot after the Jumbo engaged the Panzer II Lux. So that would have been a really nice play there from Dremora. But didn't quite pay off in the end because the town was already like under control of the Magic Man at that point, and it would have been very hard for him to push back into that town. The Tiger E only got a shot onto the M3 half-track there. Panzer IV-Js picked up a couple of infantry kills, but mostly infantry kills across the board. Marder 3 did kill off 2 of the M1 guns on the bottom side. That's the 1,200 meter range for you in Phase A. But otherwise, that's about it. Pretty awesome game though. Really, really well played by the Magic Man. Let's see what they do in the third game of this best of 3. Hope you guys enjoyed it. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you then. Goodbye.